So hey, Josh Cantwell back again, and we are inside of 2082 Braywick in Fairlawn. Many people ask me on our blog at strategicrealestatecoach.com, inside of our different training programs like 40K flips and freedom funding and our coaching and trainings, Josh, how do you get private money for your real estate deals? Not talking about getting hard money or any kind of institutional funding or bank financing or using any of our own money. How do you get real private money? And we actually use a 12-step process to get that private capital. And I'm going to give you some of those shortcuts and those tips today. So for this deal on Braywick, we got 3 different private lenders to give us money to fund this. We had a first mortgage of $80,000 from a self-directed IRA. We had a second mortgage of $45,000 from a self-directed IRA. And a third mortgage of $20,000 from a self-directed IRA. And the interesting thing is all 3 lenders are actually related. Husband, wife, brother, they're all kind of related. But I was able to use their money and roll over their funds from their old 401ks into self-directed IRAs to fund this deal. So the first question is, and many people ask me, is, well, how do you get the money? Well, the first thing is you got to open up your mouth and you got to talk about it. The second thing is you got to know what the investment alternatives really are in today's market. You see, the stock market, although it's been up and down and up and down, it's been that way for over 100 years, the stock market has averaged a 9% gross return over the last 100 years. It's averaged about 8% net after fees and expenses and commissions over the last 100 years. So if anybody asks you, like, where's a good place to get a return, it's really not the stock market. You're only going to get about 8%. In real estate, when people lend me money or lend you money for real estate deals, we can structure a private mortgage note and we can pay them whatever we want. We can pay them 20% interest. We can pay them 15% interest. We could pay them 8% interest and a piece of the deal. You could pay them just what's called an equity participation or an equity partnership and pay them a piece of your deal. What I do, and what's worked for me for years and years and years now, is I pay my investors 12% interest or 15% of my profit, whichever is higher. Whichever is higher. So the ceiling or the floor, the minimum, is 12%. Now, if you compare 12% return to 8% in the stock market, what that means is that my money at 12%, my private lender's money at 12%, their money's gonna double every 6 years. Okay? Now, if they get 8% return, if they get 8% return, their money is going to double about every 9 years, okay? So would you rather have your money double every 6 years or every 9 years? Okay, so if you compare the two, if somebody gives me money at 12% return and we invest their money over the next 18 years, their money is going to double 3 times. It's going to go from 100,000 to 200, from 200 to 400, and 400 to 800,000 at the end of that 18-year period. Now, if somebody gives me money and they're able to get an 8% return, well, their money over 18 years, their money is only going to double twice. So they're going to go from 100,000 to 200 and 200 to 400. So the question is, at the end of 18 years, would you rather have $800,000 as a private lender in real estate, or would you rather have $400,000 and the volatility of the stock market? When I tell people that story, and I send out newsletters to my potential investors once a month or twice a quarter, when I send them email broadcasts, pick up the phone and talk to them on the phone, that's the message that I tell them. Would you rather end up with $800,000 or $400,000? It's a very simple math. Would you rather have the security of real estate or the volatility of the stock market? It's very simple risk reward. And so in this particular case, I was able to work with some friends of mine, and they were convinced that loaning us the money was better than the stock market. And we've been able to use their money over and over and over. I think this is the 6th deal that they funded for me. So what they do is they take their old 401k account, roll it over to a self-directed IRA company like Equity Trust or iPlan Group, and then they create a private money loan out of their IRA to me or to you to fund your real estate deals or fund mine. And in the note is where you're going to find the terms. You're going to find the interest rate. You're gonna find how long you're gonna use the money for. So we use the money for 1 year. We do what's called a 1-year balloon. So at the end of the year, they're due to have their principal paid back plus any interest that they're owed, okay? And so really, when you're looking at private money, everybody around you has some money. Most of their money is gonna be in two places. It's gonna be in their house, their personal residence, or it's gonna be inside of their retirement account. So if I know that one of the biggest and best places to get money from is retirement accounts, I know that even people who are living paycheck to paycheck are still saving money in their retirement accounts. And eventually, if they leave a job, they can roll over that retirement account and become a private lender for you. So it doesn't have to be somebody who's wealthy, or it doesn't have to be somebody who has a ton of money, who's worth many millions of dollars. It could be somebody like one of your friends, one of your family, somebody you know from your neighborhood, somebody you know from your network, who just has a regular job, who's saving money in a 401k or a pension, and they're growing that account, raising that money, and then they simply roll it over and then they lend to you when they leave that job. Many people put those retirement accounts, they set them, they forget them, they leave them behind, and they don't really care too much about them. But when they know that they can invest in real estate and get solid double-digit fixed returns, like they're getting on this property on Braywick, they're gonna be interested in funding your real estate investments, okay? So that's exactly how we get private money for our real estate deals, just like this deal on Braywick Avenue. So when I say open up your mouth, what I mean is, first of all, once you're convinced that private lending is better for your potential private lenders, your family, your friends, people that you know, the second thing is you have to let them know. You have to open up your mouth. You have to tell them and assume that everybody around you is going to be interested in private lending. So we do many different things to get the word out. First of all, we put together a very nice written newsletter, either once a month or twice a quarter, that we send in the physical mail. It's just usually a 4-page newsletter that goes out, and we basically educate them about real estate. We educate them about our deals. We educate them about how they can make more money by rolling over their funds to a self-directed IRA. So we send out that physical newsletter. Second thing we do is we do email broadcasts. Usually once a week or at least a couple times a month, we email out to those people that we have existing relationships with. We email out to them what's called a funding opportunity sheet. It's a deal that we mail that tells them, hey, here's a deal that you can fund and get a 10%, 12%, 15% fixed return. And of course, once we send out those mailers and the emails, we pick up the phone, we call people, and we set up appointments to them, walk them through our private lending pitch book. Now, the pitch book is only about 12 to 15 slides, and it essentially walks them through the comparison of what are you going to get in the stock market versus what are you going to get as a private lender in real estate. What kind of volatility do you have in the stock market? What kind of volatility do you have in real estate, which is very minimal? The guarantees that you have in the stock market, which is none, versus the fixed returns that you can get in real estate. So the newsletters and the email broadcast is basically marketing, and marketing is sales in print. Marketing is sales in print, and that sort of tees up the opportunity for you to have a direct appointment with somebody and then walk them through how they can be a private lender for you and how to get a better, more consistent, less volatile return working with you in your real estate deals. Check out our website at strategicrealestatecoach.com and download one of our latest books, including 55 ways to find incredible real estate investments. Thanks for being here, and we'll talk with you soon.